Well, we're here in Salisbury, Connecticut. It's Memorial Day weekend 2005. We're on the Owl's Head Trail, which goes up to Owl's Head and hits the AT up on the top of Owl's Head. We're headed to Bear Mountain, which is the highest peak in Connecticut. Owl's Head is almost just as high. We left the parking lot on a gravel pathway that was very nice. We passed some day hikers coming down. It's a little humid today. It's the first time this year with a pack on, and we're noticing that the pack is extremely heavy.
Here, you can just see the tip of Bear Mountain. As you can see, we start to actually descend a little before we actually start climbing back up to the top of Bear Mountain. Now we're going to try for the campground. We don't know how far we're going to make it. Tomorrow we're probably going to try for Bear Mountain.
The white birch. I love white birch. Such a gorgeous afternoon. About 4:30. Just a beautiful, beautiful day. Unbelievable. Well, we're at the Rigga camping area, and you can see by this sign here that there's several camping sites in here. You cross the river, and there's a group site, then campsite 1, 2, 3, 4, and a shelter all in here. I saw a hawk sailing by this view here. It was gorgeous. Here's the Mount Rigga lean-to. What a beautiful view. So we're at this group campsite, Brook group camping site. And this goes into a group campsite number 1, group campsite number 2, and a privy. And then if you follow the AT down, you go to a spring. And then you have regular camping area, campsite 1 and campsite 2.
And we have arrived at our destination for tonight. Possibly, providing that there's no other people here. There's other people here, might be looking for someplace else. So we're at Brook camp area. Once again, snows only, no fires. And here we have Here's the trail coming in. It goes down to the springs first, down this way here, down to the spring. Goes over a brook. And then we have campsite number 1, which is next to the privy. Or correction, this is campsite number 2. That's next to the privy. And then we have campsite number 1, which is the last campsite at the very end, which most likely would be our campsite. So, we'll have to see. Well, there's outhouses and there's outhouses. This outhouse is definitely an outhouse with no surrounding features to it. To go out here is definitely to go in the woods, if you get my drift. Now, if you excuse me, I have to use the privy. Excuse me.
So here we are, we're at Brook campsite. We're staying in number 1, which is a long ways in, and it looks pretty quiet here so far. It's got a nice view of the sunrise area. A lot of mosquitoes here. So we started here at Lion's Head Trail. We went up this trail here to where we hit the AT. We took some pictures at Lion's Head. We went to Ravine around the campsites and the shelter and took some pictures there. We went past the group campsites and now we're at Brook campsite right here. Now here is one more Brassy Brook lean-to here. And then here is the intersection of Under Mountain Trail. So if we could get to just this point here, another day we could come around and do this part here. We don't know, we'll have to see tomorrow. We're kind of tired right now. But here's Bear Mountain up here. Well, we have a new cook stove this year that's supposed to lighten the pack weight fabulously, but it was still heavy. It's called the Esbit stove, and it goes on this fuel tablet here, which is really burning. And we're cooking these salmon burgers, which I forgot to bring a little oil next time because they're sticking to the bottom of the pan. But they look good, other than that they're stuck on here and a little burnt.
Where are you from?
Well, we finally made it to the top of Bear Mountain. And you can see this huge rock formation that they built just to get you up over the top so you can see the view. Now this monument marks the highest ground in Connecticut. And it was built in 1986 by Owen Travis Manson. So, made it to the top, and now we're going back down.
Well, we just came down from the top of Bear Mountain, and there was an elderly man over there who said that that is the tallest mountain in Connecticut, but actually over there on Fraser Mountain is the tallest peak. It's just that most of the mountain is in Massachusetts, so it can't be considered the highest mountain in Connecticut. So we found the feather. This is very lucky, and this area is the Green Tunnel. Look at all this mountain laurel just like a mile of total mountain laurel. Beautiful. So this is Brassy Brook Shelter, which I guess was originally called Bond Shelter. It's pretty nice because you got a little bit of hemlock over here, and you do have a view of the river down there. Got a couple picnic tables. This one had a fire pit, even though it says no fires. Hi there, we're at the Undermountain Trail, which goes on to the Appalachian Trail near Bear Mountain. So today we're headed up the Undermountain Trail, up to Sage's Ravine, and then tomorrow we're going to go up the other end of Bear Mountain that we need to climb. As you can see here, there's been recent bear activity in this area, so you do not leave your food unattended. And we're on a roll seeing bears, so hopefully we don't have one ravaging our food tonight. And one of the things I'd like to say is, last night was cool, so we packed extra blankets, and this pack is incredibly heavy. So as you can see here, we were hiking very hard. Feels like we've come a long way, and actually we have. 3.2 miles from Route 41, where we started. That's far. We thought we had only come like 2 miles. We actually did 3.2 with these heavy packs on. And this is Sage's Ravine. And we're now on the AT. We're here at Sage's Ravine. We're surprised that there's a big caretaker tent and that the campsites are pretty well spread out. Testing this macaroni to see how it cooks with these Esbit fuel tabs. To see how many fuel tabs it needs to actually cook macaroni. We might have a little bit too much water actually in there right now. Probably gonna have a little less.
So, this is macaroni cheese and salmon burgers. Takes 2 fuel tabs to cook it. Also have to remember not to put the meat in until the noodles are done and the cheese is in. Otherwise it makes it hard to mix it.
Welcome to the Sage's Ravine moldering privy. This composting system is maintained by volunteers. It says no trash. You throw a handful of this in there after you go. And it says that in this privy, redworms and common soil and microorganisms decompose the waste matter mixed with leaves and human manure. It doesn't smell too bad in here. I'm gonna try it. We have to climb Bear Mountain because we have to meet where we were over Memorial Day at the top. This side, everybody said, is steeper than the other side that we went up last time. And you can see right now, we've hit our packs in the woods at the trail junction that we came up, so we don't have to carry them to the top and down. But you can see right here, we're standing at the base of the mountain. And as far as you can see up in front of us, there's mountain. So this is the beginning of the climb. It's going to be a hard climb. It's 3,400 feet, the highest mountain in Connecticut, which actually is hard to believe there's a mountain that size in Connecticut. And remember that Doublehead is like 3,000 feet, so it's kind of weird that this mountain also is. And, when we came up the other side, it was pretty mellow. But this side looks like it's going to be worse. Well, this side of it is more difficult. It's more rock climb, more steep. Then the other side was more gradual. Some people coming down said, I can't believe people are going up this side. Seems like most people come around and go down this side, so we didn't do that last time. We only made it to the top. Actually, we probably should have kept going and made the circle the last time, but we were afraid it'd be too much mileage from where we parked. But we're almost there, and from the north to here, the trail goes over another mountain called Mount Race, which is almost as high as this one, so we think it's probably that one over there. We're at the parking lot on 41 in Connecticut, at the bottom of Owlhead.
Now the AT crosses this road down here, which is 41, and then it comes up here, up to Owlhead, which is what we're going to complete today. And then it goes across the other side and goes over to, what is that, Route 44?
No, it doesn't go over there. It crosses here 41, it goes up to Owlhead, and then it goes up to Mount Everett, Race Mountain, all those mountains up there.
And then if you go the other direction,
Oh, it crosses 44.
crosses 44.
If you go the other way across that field, it crosses 44 on the other side.
right, that we'll do on another time. Well, we reached the first camping area here. They put a lot of notice about black bears being up here. We see sightings on Jug End. So they seem to say there's a lot of black bear activity out here, but we really haven't seen any anytime we've been on the trail. But they say they're out here. The camping area isn't very spectacular. I mean, there's no nice platforms to set up a tent. It's all kind of like hard gravel. It's not really flat. It's kind of slanted downwards when you look at it. So it'd be kind of a difficult place to actually, set up a tent, I would say. And you're right next to the road. And you get your traffic down there all the time, so it's not a place that we would pick, so we're just gonna keep on moving on.
Okay, so we made it to our destination. It was very hard to climb. This is where we were a year ago, Memorial Day. We came up from the parking lot down here, which is on Bunker Hill Road, and then we went up on the AT up to the top of Owlhead, which the top of Owlhead is just not too far from here. You can see the clearing up there where the top is. So from this point, it's not that much further up there, but this is as far as we have to go. And so this is where we met the trail. Here we are, we're back on the AT. It's October 2006 and it's our 13th anniversary weekend.
Yeah, so we're on the AT. Now we were here in, I believe, July of this year, right?
And it was hot.
Yep.
Very hot that day, and we went from this sign here up to Owl's Head Trail where that access trail came in. Now we're going to cross Route 41, and we just have to go to Route 44. It's just a tiny little piece, less than a mile each way.
Yeah.
But sometime we have to do it, so we're going to just do it today because we're headed up for a one-night vacation celebration.
So this is just going to be a small section, and we're coming out to a road, Route 44, where after we cross 44, it starts to go up a steep climb.
Yeah, up to Limestone Spring Lean-To. For that one, we need more time to make it to the lean-to, because that one is going to be a 6-miler.
So this is just a small section that we're just going to cover today just to reach to that point. So we won't have to do that next time. And then when we come next time, we'll start at that area there. We'll park there. And we'll continue the trail up on the to the other side. And we'll be starting the Connecticut section. So
and it's a beautiful October day. Someone's mowing their lawn near here.
Yeah.
But it's blue sky, blue sky. The leaves are falling. It's wonderful, wonderful October weather. It's kind of cool out, not too cold, but just perfect.
Yep.
Wish we had more time today to hike further. Well, we only been a few hundred feet from the car. This is just a tiny little piece. It never leaves civilization very much, but we came to this area with this nice pines, and it's such a pretty day. So we're gonna eat because I'm hungry. Well, this is probably the tiniest little piece that we ever did in our lives. We probably should have waited and done it when we did the other part, you know, up off of 44, because that's the road right there. We're already out. It wasn't even a half a mile each way. And you could see pretty much civilization the whole way, but it's pretty in here, you know. It's a gorgeous day, and we figured that we had to do it sometime, and we didn't have a lot of time today, so we figured we might as well do it today. Let's go this way and we'll see if we see any blazes. Well, we came out into this cemetery here, and now we don't see any more blazes. So we don't know if it goes through the cemetery. Or if it goes this way down this road, because there's absolutely no blazes on this little road here. And we're right in town here. It's like, you know, we know where the trail goes from here, but we just don't know exactly where it goes in. From that cemetery, it ended up walking the road, but there was very few blazes on it. This is called Cobble Road, and the name of the road is right there, Cobble Road. And there's a little pull out there to park on. If I had known it walked this much road, I would have just parked, you know, driven this road. I didn't realize it walked the road through here so far. So from here it goes this way a little bit, and then it crosses the street. Over there somewhere it goes in. So I guess we can check it out so we'll know where we have to park over there, or if that we're going to park here, we don't know. When we come back sometime. We're on Route 7 in Lime Rock, and we're going to go this way on the AT, starting in that cornfield, and it's October 9th. It's our 13th anniversary. We had a great night last night at Cambrai Inn, very romantic. Dinner at Krapala. Beautiful day today. It's a little cool this morning. It's 10 o'clock. Someday we'll have to go this way. That way goes to quite a rural area. So that way we'll have to do some time when we have a backpack. But today we're going this way, so we're just going to go through that cornfield, and then we cross 7, and then we're going to go up to Falls Village, so we're headed north. Well, this has been quite a trail experience because, you know, we walked from 7 in a little piece of woods, and then we came back on 7 again, and we crossed the bridge, and we came to a school, and the trail walked on this road here for about a mile. So we went back, we got the car, we moved the car over here now. So now we're headed into the woods again.
AT to Georgia, 1,461 miles.
Well, this part's kind of not that exciting part of the AT because there's a road right on the other side of the river there and traffic's whizzing by. So we feel kind of cheated because yesterday was the same way. We were walking on the road and everything, so we picked really 2 of probably the worst pieces in Connecticut to do this weekend. But I guess we had to see it sometime, or otherwise we would never have known, you know, what this part looks like. So, I mean, this part of the woods is pretty. Following the river, there's a lot of pines. It's just that you're so close to civilization. Well, from the CL&P hydro plant now, we walk the road again, about 1/4 of a mile. This section is incredibly road walking. And now it looks like we're going to go across this old bridge here. And get a view of the river. The only thing we can say about this section is I guess it had to be done at some time. Well, this has been the strangest piece of AT we've probably ever done because it's constantly walking on roads, constantly coming out in villages. It's hard to follow it. There's not enough blazes everywhere. So now we came out on the road, walked the road a little bit more, came in again, and now we're looking at this big waterfall here, which looks like a popular tourist destination because it looks like there's a lot of people sitting on it. So there's a parking lot here, but we guess it's not a parking lot for the AT, or maybe AT parking, you know, people park there. Well, we parked right over there, and this is the part that was on the road, but the thing is there was a sign down there that says due to a railroad accident, this part of the trail was closed, and they rerouted it on the road, and that it was open at the end of August. So now, there's a little piece that we missed. And the problem is it's time for us to be headed back. And now there's going to be like a 1/2 mile here that we didn't cover, and if we hadn't done that nature trail, we would have had time to come back and do this. We just walked about a 1/2 mile out of the way because we didn't want to miss any of the trail because we happened to see that the trail crossed the road back there and that it said there was a railroad accident and the trail was reopened. So originally we thought the trail stayed on the road, which I guess some of the summer it did, but now we walked this part and we saw where there was a railroad accident where there had been a lot of wood spilled on the side of the trail, on the side of the railroad. So anyways, we covered it now. We're running late, it's hot, there's bugs everywhere right now, so we're trying to get back. We might just walk the tracks back because it might be faster and flatter and just go to the railroad accident and then cut in. So, we're headed back. Well, here we are. It's Veterans Day weekend, 2006.
It's a beautiful sunny day so far today. Temperatures are nice, they're cool. Not too cold, but not too hot, so it's a nice temperature range.
In the 50s. Now remember, last year over the same weekend, my birthday time, it was nice weather like this, and the year before it snowed. So you never know. We got very lucky with weather. been really waiting for this trip. This is where we were in October, where we ended on Route 44 on this piece in Connecticut on the AT.
Yeah, you can hear 44 right down there.
44 right there. There's that big field that we saw the wildflowers in right over there in October. And now we're headed up to Rand's View and Limestone Spring Shelter, and that's hopefully where we'll have lunch. So we got about 3 miles to cover.
Yep. So this trip we're doing this, and then we're going to be heading over toward North Adams, and we're going to pick up on that trip that we did when we flew in, and I believe that was 2004.
Yeah, 2004.
So we're going to pick up back over there again, and we're going to start from the Vermont side this time, and then we're going to be heading back towards Massachusetts side of there. So right now we're in Connecticut, and we're going to do this section of the trail.
So we're heading from 44 south to Limestone Spring Lean-To, and it's going to be a very exciting trip. We're going up to a big view called Rand's View, so it's a nice day, and let's go. I'm tired already. We're only about an eighth of a mile from the parking lot. It keeps winding up this mountainside. You can actually still see 44 down there. It just keeps going switchbacking up this mountainside. And I'm already out of breath due to soft city living for the past month or 2 months since we did the big hike in New Hampshire. And getting up at 6 o'clock today to try to make it out here. Got to the first view. We think this view is called Billy's View. It's a really pretty scene overlooking Salisbury. The trail's been, after we went up that hard climb, went through a pine forest, and then it started to go through like some briars, some picker patch, a lot of barberry, with some down trees that we moved. And then it started going through a more open area, like an old road with a stone wall next to it. And so we think this is the first view called Billy's View. So this is it, the big view. This is Rand's View, and this is supposedly the best view in Connecticut. And it's very nice because you don't really overlook a town. You overlook these mountains, and you just see kind of like a farmhouse and another field over there. So it is a great view. And the picture I saw in my magazine actually had hay rolls rolled up in this field. If we had come a little earlier in October, there actually would have been rolls of hay in this field set up. So we're almost to the shelter, and we're going to have lunch at the shelter. It's getting cold. My eyes are even starting to water. The wind is really coming across this area here. So we were going to look at the map and see which direction we're looking at here. I'm not sure which mountains we're seeing, so I'm going to turn around and get the map out. So anyways, we actually are looking towards Bear Mountain because here's Billy's View. That was the other view back there. Billy's View is looking directly south. Rand's View over here is looking north. So Bear Mountain is over to our left somewhere. I don't know if it's that hump over there or if we can't see it. But we're actually looking towards Massachusetts direction here. Towards like, Bear Rock Falls and, I believe that. I think that one is Bear Mountain. And then it goes across that ridge. And it goes across that ridge line, and then I think that dip over there is Sage's Ravine. So that's where the trail is, goes up there, because that is the direction we're looking off this way. So we're here just up from Rand's View a little bit, and this is the limestone shelter. 0.5 more of a mile. So if we go down to the shelter and back up, that adds another mile onto the trip. So this is quite a ways off the trail. And that way says Prospect Mountain, 0.5 of a mile. So eventually we'll come in from that other side, sometime during the summer, and we'll see this in another season. Well, it goes down this steep hill. It's way down there. So here we are, headed for the AT again, and it's December. It's the week between Christmas and New Year's. And it is snow flurrying. When we left home, it was fairly warm. The forecast for the next 3 days was partly cloudy. We got here, it's cold. The wind's blowing, snow is flurrying. We're in Mount Washington State Park, and we were searching for this way to get on the AT trail, the way the caretaker does. So we came down this dirt road, like 5 miles down this dirt road to this YMCA camp, and no one's at this camp now. And we found the path into the trail. So hopefully we're going to be able to get onto the AT and go down to Sage's Ravine where we have to meet that way. How spectacular is this? The ravine right now is so pretty. We just passed the Connecticut-Mass line, which there were some people sitting there, so we're going to film it on the way back. But this is right past Sage's Ravine where we didn't go the other day, 2 years ago when we were here. But this is spectacular in this part of the ravine, so beautiful. This is where we were. It's now December 2006. We were here Labor Day 2005. And we connected another little piece. So here we are, we're at the Connecticut-Mass border. This is the Connecticut side. And it's been 4 years working on the AT in Mass, and we're trying to finish it this trip, but we finally got to the border.
So finally we reached the border of Connecticut. And on the other side of this river you're going to see shortly is the Massachusetts side. So we have finally joined up Massachusetts with Connecticut.
And it's a cold December day, 2006.
Yep. Well, we're in the month of October and we're in Connecticut.
So last time we left here we were in Vermont in the middle of summer, and it was humid and rainy, and today is started out kind of foggy. It's been really warm for October the past couple days. It's been in the 90s.
Yeah, it's almost been like June almost.
Today it's a little cooler. A little front came through. It looks like the sun is going to break out.
Yep, so we're starting off in Connecticut now, and we're in Cornwall, Connecticut. We had stayed at the campground here before, but we didn't hike the trail because the weather was really bad and Lori got sick, and it wasn't a good day for a good hike. So this is the part we were going to do that day.
So we're back again. We're staying at the Cornwall Inn for our anniversary.
It's our anniversary.
So we are headed to Pine Swamp, Brook Green 2, and Mount Esther and Sharon Mountain Campsite going north from Route 4, which is West Cornwall Road. You can still hear the road up there.
Yep.
One of the hikers left somebody a little oatmeal snack, which you can't see it, but it's sitting right by the camera there.
So this is part of our day hike trails, because a lot of times when we hike, the only thing we can do is our short day hike. So this just past trip that we've done was only a 3-day hike, and today's only going to be actually just a 2-day hike.
Well, one full day today. We're going to cover about 3 miles out, 3 miles back. And should be nothing after we did Mahoosuc Notch this year. But then tomorrow we're just doing a little circle hike that only goes a little bit on the AT up Bread Loaf Mountain, which is supposed to be named because it looks like a loaf of bread. See that tomorrow.
That'll be interesting. So here we go. It's been quite a hike up so far. Been climbing kind of steadily since we left the little stream right there. But there's a lot of rocks and everything. Humid, very humid out. You can really feel the humidity right now. There's a little cave over here. Interesting cave. Maybe a place where a bear might hibernate, you know, and so you really probably don't want to go in there and disturb anything. Although it's not really hibernation season yet, so he's probably still out there gorging himself and getting himself ready for the winter.
Summit view 0.1 of a mile. Oh no, we're okay. This is the thing I was thinking about tomorrow, the Pine Loop. So actually they don't show Bread Loaf Mountain Trail. But we started here, we run up here. Where this camera is, that must be Bread Loaf Mountain View, which supposedly this is the mountain that looks like a loaf of bread, according to a lot of books. And then there's Pine Swamp Lean-To. Pine Swamp Lean-To is supposed to be just about a mile from where we started, so we're right at the beginning still. We're only still right here. Then there's another view on Mount Esther. So I guess we can go up and look at the bread loaf, since it's only 0.1 of a mile up there. This is the top of Bread Loaf Mountain. There's another sign over there that says 0.1 to a view, but right now we're off the AT, so we can't go too far out of the way. And somebody's camping over there. Very humid. Air is very heavy today. It's just common when we hike. We just got to this other rocky area. Discovered that the whole thing from when we started out is wrong because we parked at the wrong place. I thought we parked here because it said West Cornwall Road. So I thought we parked here. I thought we went up to this view. And then I thought we were heading to Pine Swamp, Brook Lean-To, and then Mount Esther. Well, come to find out, we actually parked down here. And there's Bread Loaf Mountain, which is what we saw already. Now we're coming across this ledge here, and pretty soon we're going to come to Pine Loop Trail, and then Cedar Brook Campsite. So we're doing totally a different piece than I thought we were doing. So actually, we'll have to make a correction on the piece we did do today, which we have to do the whole thing anyway. It's just that I was looking forward to seeing the lean-to, because I like to see the lean-tos. A little bit past the campsite, and there's some through hikers over there trying to get water out of the stream. A lot of the streams are dry because we're in a drought right now. But anyways, there's supposed to be a road here, Cedar Mountain Road, which is a dirt woods road. It looks like it might be gone, but anyways, there's a foundation here, which probably used to be on the Cedar Mountain Road. Well, we were supposed to be going up to a viewpoint here with a camera, but we never saw a view, and we think we passed the top. So anyway, we turned around, we headed back, we made a little marker there, and Dave marked it on the GPS, so we're headed back.
Well, we've reached our destination point again. We've returned.
We are back to the car. It was a difficult hike because there was a lot of ups and downs on this part. And it was humid. The sun came out though, and there is a breeze, but you know, we're warm. It's warm. And you know, it's kind of itchy because it's warm, and my feet are throbbing. But we made 3 miles out and 3 miles back, even though we didn't do the piece we originally planned.
No, we ended up on a different part of the trail.
Tomorrow we're going to try to come in and just meet where we were today. So we're going to be heading from West Cornwall Road south to where we ended yesterday, just a little bit north of Cedar Brook campsite. Very slippery. The rain. Oh, the sun is starting to break through. And now, of course, we have the rain gear on and it's going to get hot. And I don't have my sun shirt on, so I just have a t-shirt on underneath this, so I have to keep my rain jacket on. And I don't have any pants underneath this, so I have to keep my rain pants on. And it's going to get warm. But anyways, it was pouring when we left the car, and it was kind of like this camp down there with a lot of red buildings that we don't know what it was. It was some kind of camp. But the trail looks like it might have been rerouted around this camp because it went up and then it just went behind the camp and it went through like this mosquito. And it went through like this boulder field that was very slippery because it's raining, and then all it did was turn around, so we kind of just like turned and that was it. And now we seem to be heading off in this direction here. I wandered off the trail a little bit because it looked like the trail went straight up the hill, but actually it went through these big boulders. So it looks like it might have been rerouted. Let's try again. We turned around yesterday. Here's our marker here. And there's our tree over there. And now we're headed back.
So we reached our destination point for today. This is where we turned around yesterday. Just came from that direction there. We came down here. We saw our markers. So we reached our turnaround point. Thank God.
Yes.
It's gotten sunny out and a little warm.
Humid. It stopped raining, and because I'm wearing my rain gear, it's hot. This part of the trail didn't have too much scenery. It had no view where the camera was pointed on this part. It's all grown in, no view. Mostly hardwood. Rocks are kind of slippery because it's wet, damp, humidity.
Yeah, because we started off in the rain, then it kind of drizzled, and now all of a sudden it's pretty much breaking up, but the heat's starting to rise.
There was some scenic water when we first started out, but nothing much too scenic on this side of the mountain here. A lot of old roads, like Sudan Road and the other road there. An old stone wall, but, you know, this part I wouldn't say was, like, spectacularly exciting part. Did see a little frog and a salamander.
Yeah, a little bit of wildlife, nothing like we saw the other time when we saw the owl.
Or the bear, so we didn't see anything too dramatic, but we completed this piece now, and it's a pretty good sized piece in Connecticut, so we're headed back. We're going to eat lunch on the piney area that we saw back there, and then we'll head out because we got to go home today.
So we'll see you at the piney area.
There's no battery in this camera. And actually there's a sign here that says Appalachian Trail detour. The Route 7 bridge across the Housatonic River is being replaced. To continue hiking north, follow the detour blazes. You will intersect at Great Falls. So the trail did go the other way.
Well, we're in Connecticut. We're in Kent, Connecticut. We're doing the Appalachian Trail. And as you can see, we originally went to the junction of Route 7 and Route 112, where we were going to hike this section of the trail. And we were going to bike back to the car afterwards. But by the time we got there, it was already after 9:30, so we were a little bit worried about time. So anyways, we decided to split up, and Lori was going to start on one end, and I'm going to start on the other end, and we're going to meet back again, like we did in New Hampshire there. So now I'm taking the bikes back down, I'm putting them on the car, and I'm going to head up, and I'm going to meet Lori on the other side. So it's not what we planned for this trip, but sometimes when you have long sections of the AT to cover, I mean, the only way we can do it is by splitting up. And since there's a timeline that we have to finish it, because we have to get out of here before dark, and we still have to set up our campsite, so we just don't have the time to actually do the complete through hike and then bike back. And we want to be able to finish off Connecticut, so this is the only way that we can do it. We're not going to do this throughout the whole trip, we hope, but for today we're going to do it because of the timeline. So
Well, I just left the trailhead. It's Sunday. It's 2 days after our anniversary. This is our big anniversary trip, and we're not hiking together. We were planning to hike together today, but for some reason we got off to such a late start, even though we left the house at 4:30 with so much traffic, and it took us 4 hours to get out here, so we're not starting the trail until after 9 o'clock, and we have 7 miles to cover. We just left Route 7, and we're going to hike to Cornwall Bridge. Dave's coming in from the other side. We brought the bikes, but then we decided we wasn't going to have enough time, and we really wanted to finish this piece because we don't have that much time to hike anyway. So we sacrificed hiking together, and we're going alone again so that we don't have the bike ride. It's kind of sad. When he drove away again, I felt just like at Moosilauke, I felt sad. You know, I'm worried about him getting the car to the other side. It's a beautiful day though, beautiful October day. Just climbed a big hill, which I should be in shape after Moosilauke, but probably not. And already looking forward to seeing Dave and the lunch, because then I know that we'll be halfway and we'll see each other. And not too many people out here today, so I may be alone.
Well, we're in the month of October. A lot of foliage and stuff like that. Very rocky terrain here. As you can see behind me, got this little squeeze section here. You kind of gotta go up these rocks right here in between these two big boulders.
Happy to see you. I'm gonna give you a big kiss.
Well, we're splitting up again.
We're getting ready. We're getting ready to leave. We had lunch. The sun felt warm on our backs because it actually was cold sitting there. I hate to leave. It's so sad to say goodbye because I just want to be with him. You know, I want to hike with him. I don't want to walk away from him. But we're gonna be like 3 hours to go get the car and then come around and get him. And he says the car's parked by an insane asylum, so hopefully everything's okay. And you know, we wouldn't have been able to do this part of the trail without splitting up, because we're probably going to come out at 4, and then we would have had a bike ride, which could have taken over an hour. And the problem is now it gets dark around 6:15, so we don't have much daylight, and it's cold, and we still have to set up. Love you. Be careful. Love you.
Love you too.
Love you.
Love you.
Love you. You're gonna film me going. I hate it because when I turn around I can't see you anymore. So we are here on our 18th challenge, and right now we are on the only Indian reservation that the trail passes through, and it's here in Connecticut. And it's really pretty. We're going to bike ride back to the car after. It's a cold morning. It was cold in the tent last night. It was the first frost of the year. And it's going to be a sunny day, though. It's a nice day. So what we're going to do is, this is called Sagacoke Mountain, Sagacoke Indian Reservation. And I might be pronouncing it wrong, but it's something like that. And this reservation here, they're trying to put a casino in. So soon, the AT may not be like it is now. So my book says, see it when you can. Well, this is quite a climb up this mountain. This is a pretty tall mountain. A lot of rocks. I heard some crows. Well, it's really spectacular up here. I'd have to look at the map, but one of these viewpoints is called Indian Rocks View. I'm not sure if this one is it or not. But supposedly the story goes that a Pequot Indian came out here at the time of the Indian Wars and the white settlers to get away from the white settlers. And he came to the top of this mountain and he looked down and he didn't see any white settlers, and he wanted the whole valley for the tribe. He wanted to move the tribe up here. So they moved up here and they settled here in this area, and a lot of different tribes actually came together and lived here. And now they want to claim their land back. So they're suing CLMP, the AT, and the Kent School to try to get their land back. So they don't want the Appalachian Trail on their land anymore. But it is a spectacular view. Quite a climb though. I don't know how high this is compared to Bear Mountain. We're going to look it up, but this has got to be one of the highest peaks in Connecticut. It's got to be. Even the trees are smaller here. It's Tuesday. It's the rainy day, but right now it's not raining, and it's a little bit warmer than yesterday. It's supposed to be chance of showers today and then clearing tonight, and then the next 2 days are supposed to be sunny but cold, and the wind is supposed to pick up. Right now there's no wind. But we're hiking alone again. I don't know if it's getting easier to get dropped off this way. I definitely don't like it all the time. You know, it was still kind of tough. Not as hard as the first time, but tough. We decided to do this because it's a rainy day and we're going to meet at a shelter in the middle for lunch. Dave dropped me off on Swift Mountain Road in Kent, and he's coming in from the other side, Route 4. So the shelter's going to be about halfway so we can have lunch. Climbed up a big hill, and already there's a viewpoint, but it's cloudy today. And so we're going to have to see what kind of scenery we see today, and hopefully there's not too many people out here today after my experience last time with somebody getting ready to break into our car right when I got back to the car. So hopefully today not many people out here and everything goes well.
Well, I'm by myself again. I dropped Lori on the other end of this trail. We're covering about around 8 miles today. So we're really trying to push out this trail so we can finish the Connecticut AT. It's cloudy out today. No visibility. So not going to be too much as far as views today. It's raining on and off. It's supposed to be showers today with chance of some clearing in the afternoon. So maybe we'll see some views then. We're going to meet Lori at a hut, and that's where we're going to have our lunch. So that will be the halfway point where we'll switch off, and then she'll come back and pick me up. So it's been a hefty climb up this side. This was a really steep climb. It's going to be a really steep descent for Lori on our way back down. But then this trail descends to a flat area that supposedly runs along the river, and then from there it's just flat. I guess about 3 miles of flatness, and the shelter's in that flat area there, so we'll meet right about that point there. So I'm going to put the camera away today, most of the day, to keep it out of the rain because we don't want to damage this camera.
Well, this is the climb down off of Caleb's Peak. It's pretty steep and rocky. Kind of has these rock kind of steps on it. And I have to take it easy because it's slippery in the rain. This is a really sheer ledge. There's a rock just perched right there, waiting to fall down any second. And you can hear the train beside the Housatonic, which goes right by our campground. Well, I came down off the ledges and the sun is starting to come out, so it's really warming up. I gotta get my rain pants off somehow, but surprise, the trail walks on River Road. The map showed parking and then the trail, and then River Road on the other side and parking. The trail walks on River Road, which is a dirt road. And we could have, driven in here, but I didn't know the trail walked on the road. But now, of course, we don't have a car, so we have to walk this road.
Well, it's about 10 o'clock right now, and it's been a pretty decent trail, mostly down on my section. A few flat areas, a few downs, a little bit of rocks and stuff like that, but not too bad after you climb that steep hill. But already I'm come down to this, looks like this road, this dirt road. I just passed the paved road up on top over there, and there's this, it looks like this is dirt road here. This must be the flat area of the trail, because as you can see, it kind of follows along the river down here, and then it continues out in the direction over here to where I'm going to meet with Lori down at the shelter over here. So this is the flat area, which I should be able to pick up some mileage rather quickly right now. There's ups, obviously. I mean, every road has ups and downs, so. But the sun's just starting to peek through the clouds up there, and it's just starting to break up. I can see some blue sky, so it looks like probably the rain has finally stopped, and we might get a little bit of sunshine here, but right now we're kind of off the mountains.
I just arrived about 5 minutes before you. You almost beat me. Yeah, I might put my coat on now too, because it is getting a little cold. Of course, now we're getting ready to leave, which is always sad. And I know he's got a hard climb up St. John's Ledges. But now it's clouded over again and getting cool, and they said chance of showers all day, so now after all that spectacular sunshine by the river, it might rain again for the views. I hope not.
These are the ledges that Lori was telling me about. They are pretty bad. I imagine it was probably worse coming down, at least going up. You know, you're tilted forward, so it gives you a little bit more momentum. And there's also things to grab a hold of, like tree trunks and stuff like that, to help you up. But as you can see up here, it's really quite rocky, steep.
Well, I'm back at the road. Silver Hill was a hard climb and a hard descent, but Dave's got it worse because he's got more rocks on his side going up. I'm back at the road, as you can hear, so I'm going to be at the car in a couple of minutes. This side of the trail was more brushy. You know, there was a lot of brush, invasive plants. It was pretty by the fields, though. You could see, you know, and I saw the part where Dave almost lost the trail because it wasn't marked, and I had to watch where he told me it was going to be difficult. And I only saw one woman with a dog running by the river, so there is some way in there. And then I passed a southbounder eating a cheese sandwich in the middle of the trail, which looked really, really good. It was thick slices of cheese on crusty wheat bread. Oh, and could tell I'm hungry. So I'm going to head to get Dave. The sun is starting to come out now. Breeze is picking up. Well, this is it, the Connecticut-New York border. So today, we're crossing the border from New York into Connecticut. So this is the state line. Tomorrow we'll actually finish Connecticut because we have a 3-mile section a little bit north of here. But this is the line right here. Kind of a small sign for Connecticut.
Well, we finally meet, but I forgot the video camera, so I have no video coming up this trail.
The video camera somehow stayed in the tent this morning because when we get up it's cold and dark and we're trying to get going, and somehow someone didn't check the camera bag to see if the video camera was in there, so hopefully no one is back at the tent stealing our camera. But anyways, there wasn't too much to film on this trail. From my side, you know, it was very wooded. There was one little view at the top that I took a picture of called 10 Mile View. I did go over the Connecticut line, which we have a little video. And we met pretty early.
Yeah, my section wasn't too scenery either. I mean, it follows the river. It's actually fairly flat, kind of like yesterday's area, where it got really, really flat along the river. And you just move on that section, you know, just moving. And I came up to this shelter area. I had to go to the bathroom, so I went up and I used the outhouse up there. And it's a really beautiful area up there. Laurie will have to get some pictures and some video of it, of that camp, that shelter right there. But it's really nice. It's in a nice open field, and it's like in a farm situation. But anyways, as I was going up this section of the trail, we started off on the other side with an old woman who was dropped off the same time we were dropped off. And I passed her down the thing, and I asked her...
I was originally ahead of her when we started out, but I felt like she was on my tail the whole time.
And so I see her at the bottom of the trail, and I'm coming up. I go to her, I says, "How's my wife doing?" And she goes, "I don't know. Haven't you seen her?" I was like, "No." I says, "Were you ahead of her?" And she goes, "No, I was following her." I says, and she says, I said, "Did you pass her?" She says, "No, I didn't pass her." So meanwhile, this section of the trail where I'm climbing this steep mountain, thinking, oh my God, if she's already gone down and I missed her at the outhouse, I'm going to have to turn around and go back and give the keys to her because I have the keys for the car.
So meanwhile, I actually had to take my long johns off because it was getting warm climbing, which meant I had to take my pants off and boots and socks. And I had this woman behind me who hikes about the same speed as me. And, you know, so I went behind a big boulder and took my long johns off and went to the bathroom. Meanwhile, she passed by me, so she didn't see me. So I was good camouflaged.
So anyway, luckily the scenery isn't too spectacular on this trail, so the loss of the video camera isn't too bad. But we don't know about the second half of the trail that we're going to be doing, how spectacular that might be, and we still don't have the video camera.
So this one was from Hoyt Road to 341.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever see a sign entering the Indian Reservation?
Nope, there was no sign saying entering Indian Reservation.
So that sign must be gone, because in my books they said there
unless
is
it's from
one.
the other side.
Yeah,
I didn't see it
don't
from the
know.
other side, I wouldn't have looked. So we're going to be splitting up again.
I don't know what Dave's talking about, that his side wasn't spectacular. 'Cause his side was more spectacular than mine. He's got this beautiful shelter inside this nice sunny field. And then you got the river right down below it. That must be the composting privy that he said he went to the bathroom in, and they compost with leaves. He said it doesn't smell at all. What is Dave talking about? This side is fantastic. A beautiful shelter. Look at this bridge. The AT crosses. Sometimes you see on the movies hikers cross this bridge when they're heading into Connecticut. And then there's a nice tenting field right down from where that beautiful shelter was. Somebody's tenting in there. And this is fantastic. It's a shame he forgot the video camera and I'm videoing with my camera. This is spectacular. So this part of the trail, you're right next to the Housatonic, like yesterday, but it's a little bit more rapidy in here. A little bit more rock. It's a gorgeous day, blue sky. This is the same day. It's Wednesday, but we actually moved pieces. I made it back to the car. And I took the car, went around to Hoyt Road and picked up Dave. After filming his side, we drove over here. We have a 2-mile piece up Fuller Mountain, which goes from Swift Mountain Road, which is where I got dropped off the other day, and went north. Well, now I'm going south. And he's coming in from 341. And 341 the other day we left the bikes when we did the Indian Reservation. So this is putting two pieces together, and we only have 3 more miles tomorrow up by Great Falls, and we'll finish Connecticut.
Well, we're on our second half of our trail that we split up on.
And still no video camera because it's the same day, which is back in the tent. And we met. I left at Swift Mountain Road. He left at 341, Route 341. He says his climb was hard.
Yes, it was very, very steep. Too bad I didn't have the camera on that. There were a lot of big boulders and rocks and slated and cliffs and all kinds of stuff up there that you went up and up and up and up. And it was like, oh no, not again.
Yeah, all this trip, he's got the hard side every single time by accident, because it's hard to tell by the map. It's deceptive. You don't know really what the terrain is going to be, because both sides went up, and you don't know which one has rocks or whatever. My side was pretty easy. It went up, but it just kind of went through the woods a little bit. It didn't go steep up. Saw a big blow-down tree that recently must have came crashing over the trail, and some white birch. Took a picture of that.
And she's got a nice view coming up ahead. There's a very beautiful view outlook. There's a church steeple and lots of foliage that you can see on the hill beyond it. So it's really, really nice. So still have a view coming up that you can take a picture of.
And we should be out of here in hopefully about an hour, because we have to stop at the grocery store today, and I want to stop at the Pottery Barn.
So we should be out about 2 o'clock this time.
Well, this is it. Our last morning of the trip and our last 3 miles in Connecticut. This is Great Falls, where we were 3 years ago, after much difficulty finding this parking lot again. Much difficulty, how feeble the mind becomes after 3 years and you can't find the thing again. We're gonna head out and we're gonna climb Mount Prospect, and so we got 1,000 feet to climb, and then when we get to the junction of Limestone Spring lean-to. That's where we had come up from the other side 3 years ago. So this is the final piece, the missing link. The falls at the crack of dawn. Spectacular view already. And this morning we got up at 4:30, alarm clock went off. Of course there was some tents near us last night and they had to get like right near us even though the whole campground was empty, so we probably woke them up. Had to go to the bathroom, couldn't find a flashlight to get to the outhouse. Couldn't see, banged into their tents, and so it was a difficulty getting up. We heard an owl this morning at the camp, so that's the stuff you remember afterwards, that the only owl we heard this trip, although Dave saw one. But we got a beautiful view. It's hard to start out with a big climb, and I always put too much clothing on, and I get overheated immediately, and then I have to take some clothing off, and then I keep stopping, taking clothing off, taking clothing off. Never got sunny today. I don't know if this is the top. There's a small view out here.
I think this is it. Is this it?
This is it.
This is it. We made it.
Finished
We
Connecticut.
finished Connecticut.
So we finished it now. It was a good trip. It's been cold though. Some of the good things were camping, sitting by the fire at night together, hearing an owl this morning,
Yeah.
biking the road by the Indian Reservation and going into the teepee with the fire going there. That was my favorite part, the part that went through the Indian Reservation. That day was my favorite day.
We split up a lot on this trail this time. We weren't really expecting to do that. The bike ride was just so long that, you know, it would took us longer to get back to the campsite, and it would be dark and cold by the time we got there. So we decided it'd probably be better if we just split and then met, which was kind of exciting because, you know, it was exciting seeing her, you know, on the trail coming back towards me. It was like, you know, kind of like seeing an old friend.
And it's hard to get dropped off, you know. But it's nice to be able to cover large sections, and we never would have finished Connecticut if we hadn't separated. It's cold.
Really cold. And believe it or not, we brought cider with us to celebrate the big finish. But it's really cold.
It's so cold. I don't know if I want
I don't think we were expecting it to be this cold. I think we should have brought hot cider with us.
should have brought hot chocolate with us.
Yes. So I don't think we're going to open this today. I think it's just too cold.
I don't know. He carried it all the way up the mountain.
I did.
We probably should just go ahead and open it.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, we'll probably open it, but we probably won't drink very much of it.
To finishing Connecticut.
Finishing Connecticut.
Cheers. It's good. And it's sparkling cider.
Oh, yeah.
Non-alcoholic.
No.
So we'll be okay to walk the trail back down.
And drive back home.
I got cider all over the place.
Cheers.
So until next time, which will probably won't be till April.
And we'll probably be finishing
New Jersey. Hopefully in April. Until then.
So I'll have another big finish.
Until then.
Hikers rule!